Shadow friend. This happened when I was around 5 to 7 years old. During this time, my childhood room didn't have a door on the closet, only a thin layer of curtains that you could see through. This is important. Now one night, I was trying to sleep and I had my back facing the closet when I started to feel this weird and comforting gaze on me. Thanks to my childhood curiosity, I turned in bed only to see this tall shadow figure in my closet. I can still remember the figure clearly. It was very, very tall to the point that it was hunching over in my closet. It had a fedora too, which was weird, since no one in my house wore a fedora, and it seemed to watch me until morning. Of course I got so scared of the shadow that I hid in the covers, but after having that figure appearing in my closet for months, I started to get used to it watching me and fell asleep more easily with facing the closet when it appeared. I named it Mr. Tall Man. Now that it's been gone for years, I started to notice that there have been more appearances of these shadowy figures in my home, specifically when I'm alone. Maybe it's Mr. Tall Man's family paying me a visit or more randoms, but the gaze is still comforting. I wanted to share this since I recently watched a video on these shadow people and I needed to tell this to others. I heard a woman scream in the middle of the night. So this happened a couple of months ago and I still can't explain it. In order to understand what happened, you need to know the layout of my room. So I sleep in the far end of the house. I have my own room far from everyone else. And my room has a laundry room right next to it, and the door to the garage is in there as well. So if I was in my bed and I sat up, I would see the laundry room and the garage door to the side. So with that out of the way, here we go. I was in my bed watching YouTube on my phone like every other night, and I go to sleep when I get tired. So I eventually got tired, and so I put my phone on my stand next to me and I go to sleep. This all happened at I think it was 3:25 or 3:30 a.m., sometime around there. My eyes were closed for about 5 minutes when I suddenly heard a woman scream. So I shot up in my bed, I looked around and I did not see anyone. Now please understand, I was so completely scared that I didn't want to get up. I was just frozen in fear. The scream sounded like it came from either the laundry room or the garage. So I was too scared to even leave my room, since I would need to go through the laundry room to leave. I did not close my eyes for about 30 minutes since I was so scared. Eventually, I tell myself it was nothing and I go back to sleep. Nothing like that ever happened again. To this day I still believe that scream was in my mind, but I am still terrified I will hear it again one night. School lockdown scare. It happened when she was in middle school. She said it was in the early hours of the day when she decided to excuse herself to go to the bathroom. In the middle of doing her business, the school's PA system chimed and announced that there is a lockdown and it's not a drill. She said her heart sank as she didn't know what to do. She was worried that if she ran back to her classroom, the room would already be locked and the intruder, or whoever it is, might spot her. That's why she decided to stay in the bathroom and crouched on the toilet bowl to hide her legs from the space underneath the stall. My friend says it was so quiet that time that she could almost hear her throbbing heartbeat. But she recalled that silence was shortly broken when the bathroom door flung open and she heard heavy footsteps pacing around. She held her breath at the moment, knowing whoever joined her in the bathroom was the intruder. She remained quiet for minutes, but it felt like hours to her. The silence returned after a while and she thought that the intruder must have left by now, but then she heard someone say, "I see you." My friend's heart sank. She immediately looked up and she saw a head peering at her from the stall next to hers. She said the man had unkempt hair and his eyes were very red. At that moment, she screamed and the man tried to reach for her hair. But because of this noise, someone else must have heard it and ran to the bathroom. My friend said she just covered her face continuously screaming while she heard some banging sounds all over. After some time, someone knocked on her door and said she was safe. At first he hesitated, but when she heard her homeroom teacher called out to her, she opened the door to her stall and ran to her teacher. It turns out the intruder was a homeless guy who wandered into the school all drugged. Thankfully none were physically hurt, but my friend said she was emotionally traumatized by the encounter and that she wouldn't go to any bathroom unless she had someone else with her. Camping trip 2014. This happened to me and my girlfriend I was dating back in the summer of 2014. This all took place in South Carolina, and my girlfriend and I wanted to take a camping trip. We initially tried to go to a place 45 miles from our hometown, but they were going to charge us double what we thought we were going to pay for. We decided to head back, and it just occurred to me there's a spot in very close to where we live. Now I will say it's more boondock